boys and girls. Thank you so much for coming to another Content for Kids episode. How are you all doing? Where I'm from, spring is just starting to come in and the grass is green and the flowers are starting to bloom and we're able to be outside so much more, which is just the best. So it's been so wonderful to be outside in the sunshine and be reminded of God's love and his creativity. Do you ever think about that when you walk around at a park and you see all the different trees and bushes and plants and flowers and birds and all those different things, and you think that God made every single one of them on purpose? And you know what else? He made you on purpose, and he made you special in your own way, and that was on purpose. He has something special for you in this life, just like he has something special for every single one of his children. And it's amazing to think of that because you're never, ever alone, and he loves you so much. And we're going to sing a song today called Oh, How I Love Jesus. So let's do that. The first verse and chorus. So we're gonna do something a little different this week because guess what I have a video of? Real, live, living kittens and baby goats. And I'm gonna show you my mom's pot-bellied pig who is very cute and chubby. And I'm gonna show you her rooster and her chickens. So instead of the craft this week, we're going to let you see the cutest animals ever. today we are going to learn about manatees. Let's get started. Long ago, explorers sailed around the world. As they traveled, they saw many exciting and beautiful things. Sometimes the sailors would see things that they did not understand. When this happened, they would make up stories. Some sailors thought they saw people that had tails like fish. They called them mermaids. But the explorers did not look closely at these strange creatures. They saw them only from far away. Today, we know what the sailors were looking at: manatees. Manatees belong to a group of animals called mammals. Mammals have warm bodies and feed their babies milk from their bodies. Most mammals also have hair on their bodies, but manatees do not. Cows, dogs, and people are mammals too. Manatees sometimes float near the surface of the water. When they do, their heads and front arms, or their flippers, stay above the water. The flippers are shaped like short paddles. The manatees' tails stretch out and float too. From far away, a floating manatee looks a lot like a floating person, and that is what the sailors of long ago saw. I don't think they look much like a person, but they must have looked like a person to a sailor. Manatees live in both freshwater and saltwater. That means that they can live in rivers and lakes and also in the salty ocean. Manatees like warm water. That is why they are found mostly in the warm areas of the world. Africa and South America are two countries that have manatees. The United States has manatees too. A few manatees still live in Florida's warm rivers. Manatees look a little like seals. They have rounded bodies with flat paddle-shaped tails. They are often gray or brown, and they have large round faces with stiff whiskers. At the end of each flipper, manatees have fingernails just like you do. Manatees can grow up to 13 feet long and weigh almost 1,500 pounds. Whoa. Manatees can die if the water they are swimming in is too cold. That is why they have a thin layer of fat under their skin. This fat is called blubber. It helps to keep the manatees warm. Manatees are not the only sea animals that have blubber. Whales and seals also depend on blubber to keep them warm. They're really cute and chubby. Manatees only eat plants. In fact, they are sometimes called sea cows because they eat many different kinds of plants, just as farm cows do. Manatees use their strong lips to tear plants from the muddy bottom. They also use their flippers to scoop up floating plants. Manatees have flat, wide teeth to grind their food. As these teeth wear down, they move to the front of the manatee's mouth and fall out. New teeth are always replacing the worn-out ones. Manatees eat a lot of food. Some can eat almost 150 pounds in one day. But they are not very active animals. In fact, after they finish eating, they like to take naps. Most of a manatee's day is spent either resting or eating. Manatees often talk to each other by touching. They greet other manatees by pressing their noses together, which looks like kissing. They also touch their flippers and tails. Touching makes the manatees feel happy and safe. Manatees also use sounds to talk to each other. Babies often squeal or squeak to talk to their mamas. Other manatees make sounds when they are frightened or angry, and some manatees make sounds just to let others know where they are. Baby manatees are called calves. They look just like adult manatees, only smaller. Even so, they are very big to you and me. Baby manatees are 4 feet long and weigh 70 pounds. A mother and her calf stay together for 2 years. During this time, the mother teaches her baby what foods to eat and where to find them. She also teaches her calf how to escape danger. When the calf is ready, it leaves its mother to live on its own. The manatee's only enemy is people. Some people kill manatees for their meat or their bones, but most manatees are killed or hurt by boats. The sharp blades of the motors can cut the slow-moving manatees as they swim and eat. Bigger boats sometimes crush manatees resting in the shallow waters, and some manatees drown after getting tangled in fishing nets. Oh, that's sad. Manatees are endangered animals. That means there are very few manatees left in the wild. Too many manatees are dying because people are careless in the water. They drive fast boats and throw garbage into places where manatees live. They also destroy the plants that manatees need to eat. To save the manatees, we must learn to be more careful. Many governments now protect the wild manatees. Areas where they live have been turned into parks with very firm rules. In these areas, boats and swimmers are not allowed. This keeps the water clean and free of dangerous motor blades. It also keeps the water quiet and calm, so the manatees are happy. Where can you go see a manatee? Well, some parks have viewing areas where people can watch the manatees. If you ever go into a manatee park, stop by one of those areas. Watch how the beautiful manatees float, eat, and play. Then you'll understand how important it is to protect them. If we all work together, these wonderful animals will be around for many years to come. The end. That is very sweet. I hope I can see one in real life someday. I hope you enjoyed this week's episode. It was something a little different. When I went to the farm and I saw those animals, I knew I had to fit them in and let you guys see them because those kittens and the goats, they grow so fast. So I wanted to show those to you. So we'll do the craft next week. But for this week, let's just talk about spring. Because where I'm from, spring is just around the corner. We're entering it. And it's the remembrance of new life coming through. Everything is turning green and coming alive. And some people do spring cleanings, which means they air out their house and they clean all the nitty-gritty little spots that they haven't been able to during the winter. And so let's talk about what it would mean to spring clean our hearts. There's a lot of stories that I've heard how some people never teach themselves what it is to walk in Jesus Christ. They never even want to start learning, and they start living their own life, and they never take time to think about what it is that Jesus can do for them and how he can change their life. But when you want to make a difference and you want something to change, you have to think about it. You have to take the time to think and to see it. And it's kind of like looking in a mirror once in a while and saying, what spots in my life can Jesus make me better? Because we know that Jesus can make us perfect, but we have to let him, right? He's not just going to come in and make us like puppets. We have to let him, and we want him to do that. So let's think about spring this week and what it would mean to do a spring cleaning, and think about who we are in Jesus Christ, and how when we work on the fruits of the Spirit book, what if all those things were able to come out of our life? Because you know they are able to come out of our life. Jesus makes it possible for love and joy and peace, patience, goodness, kindness. It's almost too good to be true, right? But it's not too good to be true, because Jesus indwells our spirit through faith, and he helps you do everything that you need to do to have all those fruit come out of your life. And all we have to do is ask him And all we have to do after that is just trust Him to know He will give us the strength. He's like the gasoline in the car. We're the car, and we can't get anywhere without Him, can we? You could try to push it yourself. That would be like trying to do everything good on your own. We wouldn't get very far. We would get very tired. But Jesus is like the gasoline in a car because He gives us the strength and the ability to live our lives with joy and purpose. And all those beautiful things that we read about, they can come true for you. So let's think about that this week. Let's think about how Jesus can make us more wonderful, better friends, better daughters, better sons, better cousins, better nieces, nephews, whatever it is, whatever role it is you play. Ask the Lord to help you see how He can help you grow more like Him. And we'll see you next week.